Hey guys, Darkovica here, and as many of you who follow me on Twitter know, recently I have dived quite deep into the rabbit hole of medieval research. Now, I haven't really talked about this on my channel. I've talked about it in the past, sort of. I am in the process, and have been in the process for a very long time, of trying to publish a book. I want very badly to write a book and see it finished. However, I am the type of person who gets very afraid of publishing things and sharing my writing because to me it's like a part of me, I guess, and sharing that becomes very intimate, and that's frightening. But this year, recently, I've said I hate this and I just want to get a book out there. Now, the other hard thing I've decided is the genre of this book, because I have been deliberating between fantasy and historical fiction. Now, historical fiction, as you can imagine, or probably, is quite difficult because you have to at least know your source material. And if your source material is not where you're from, well, then it becomes instantly way harder, because obviously I know a lot more about America than I know about anywhere else, so choosing a different location means twice the amount of research that I have to do. So, of course, I chose England. Now, I chose England for potentially obvious reasons, and my research material is quite hefty. It encompasses the internet, but also a massive pile of books and magazines. And so I figured I would show you guys. Hi, Sammy. He's come for my little dangly on my phone. He just went sprinting across the house. Hello, baby. You want to say hi? You want to say hi? Yes, he's a big boy. And I figured I would show you guys my research material. So without further ado, here's the massive collection that I have amassed, both recently and over time. Some of these I've had for quite a long time, and some of these I found on Amazon while they were on sale. I mean, I'm talking like cheaper than the Kindle version, which is impressive. One of these is a hardback book that I straight up got from Barnes & Noble that was cheaper than the Kindle version. Like, I was like, what? Why? But anyways, I'm going to show you guys. I'll be right back. Well, I'm not really. Cut! So for starters, this is one of my pieces that I am using for research material because it's Ivanhoe by Sir Walter Scott. Now, it's not necessarily research as it is just giving me kind of a window into the proper time period and how it should be written. I've had this for a while and I haven't finished it, which is sad, but I'm also watching an old show from I don't know when called Ivanhoe on Amazon. And pretty much this takes place in the 13th century, which is the time period that I'm looking for. Now, the one thing that I have a problem with is I have to make this book relatable, so no one is gonna talk like they do in this. But yeah, here's Ivanhoe. Ivanhoe is awesome. It is a classic. It's really cool. It's got, I mean, I'm sure you can probably figure out why I picked this. Let's see, where is it? Where is it? I know he's in here. I know he's in here. Well, I can't see him at the moment, but Robin Hood's in here. I'll just tell you that right now. Yep. Now, this is another book that I have that I really love. It's called Writing Fantasy and Science Fiction, and it has just like, okay, Sam. That is his fetch toy, which he desperately wants me to throw for him. Yeah, yeah, you want it? You want it? Oh, yeah, I'll get it. All right. Now I'm going to have to be dealing with that the entire video. But it's got a whole bunch of other authors that all did some essays, and then it is also a reference material. So it's got like a whole bunch of concepts like that people typically use, like how to write fantasy races, which I don't technically need, but like, okay, here we go. Here's like an area that I was on. Traditional fantasy cultures, and then it talks about feudalism, which is obviously important to 13th century. Right, baby? Perfect cut. This is another option. Sam is currently upset because the couch squeaked, so now he thinks I'm in danger and he's very interested in the couch. This is the writer's journey, which is important to know because it talks about the hero's journey and also the writer's journey through the hero's journey. And I'm not technically I jump between research material quite often. So you'll see that I'm like part of the way through all of these because as I'm reading, I'm like, oh, but what about this? And I jump to the next thing. So this is another piece of research material. This is how much it is when you buy it on like Barnes & Noble, and I got it on Amazon for like 10 bucks. So, you know, bargain hunting, right, baby? This is just really cool because it is The Time Traveler's Guide to Medieval England, and it's literally like, it tells everything as if you were there. And it talks about things like, you know, how housing was. Oh, this is cool. Look at this. How taxes were paid. Like, how cool is this? This is such a cool piece of research material. And it tells it as if you're there, like how cities functioned, how cities looked, what was the typical lifestyle for a peasant, how people thought, how people dressed. This is 14th century, so that's kind of not my century, but, you know, like I said, liberties. I realized pretty early, I'm recording. I realized pretty early on that I actually have quite a bit of difficulty writing characters. This was kind of, well, actually, I did enjoy looking through this, but I definitely am like, I'm jumping to certain sections in this, which you probably shouldn't do with research material, but, you know, whatever. And it talks about just like creating, you know, here we go. Here's a nice little bullet point section for what it does. But yeah, this is one piece of research material that I got for characters. Now, the other one that I had earlier, which was like all the essays and like material for which, you know, you can grab reference material for like medieval stuff, like the names of castle bits and bobs and all that stuff. It also talks about character creation, but it's like a single essay by a well-known author who I don't remember off the top. Hi, baby. Hi. Hello. Hi. And yeah, so there you go. Oh, God. So here's that one I was talking about. I got this bargain priced for $7.98, and the soft copy or whatever, the paperback. There we go. That's the one. The paperback was like $20 or something, and I don't know how much this one is normally. It doesn't really say, but I got this because of the Templars, because they were quite active during the 13th. Focus. Come on. Work with me. They were active during the 13th century, and also it was, you know, $7.98. The Kindle version is $9.99. So I literally was like, I had just downloaded the demo for the Kindle version, and then I passed a table that had this for $8, and I was like, well, all right, there we go. I'll get this one then. More physical copies for me. And I'm not even, this whole pile does not even include what I have on my Kindle, but, you know, whatever. So, yeah, there we go. That's what I have on this one. And actually, it's pretty cool. I've been reading... Oh, hang on. Excuse me. I've been reading about the Templars, obviously. And it's so far been going on literally about the history of the time period with the Templars and how feudalism worked, which is great because I am having difficulty understanding feudalism. Like, honest to God, what the heck was the difference between all of the different titles of lords and stuff? Like, I looked at the pyramid, and the pyramid made sense, and I understand the feudalism pyramid, but my God, what was the difference between, like, a baron, an earl, and a lord? I think a lord is just, like an overall name. Anyways. Oh, God, this video flipped. Ah! I figured I'd show my magazines all at once. Sorry the cuts in this are probably really weird, but if I don't just, like, randomly stop recording, I will actually talk forever. For no reason. This is actually more about Renaissance fairs going on right now, but I thought that was really cool too. But it did have like a bunch of really cool things. Like, look how cool this is. About like just stuff. Just all kinds of stuff. And also, you know, like things you can buy to make medieval costumes, and I thought that would be really cool because I'm a nerd. But you know, it talked about like what soldiers, oh, here we go, this is what I was looking for, feeding an army. So like what soldiers ate during the Middle Ages. Unfortunately, like most things, I've noticed that what I'm probably gonna get is just a ton of information that's sort of the entire Middle Ages cobbled together, which is a problem because that's 1,000 years, and they're just like, in the Middle Ages they did this, and I'm like, no, what time, what part of the Middle Ages? Because you know what, in the 13th century they lived in a single hall. In the 14th century they had actual windows. I think it might have been the 15th century. You see, it's weird. Anyways, so that's that magazine. I'm just literally tossing these out of the way. This one is just Inside the Medieval World, and this was National Geographic, and it literally has, like, time periods and what was going on around the world at the same exact time, and just, like, art and science, and I thought it was, like, a really cool conglomeration. It does talk about, like, you know, what time period something happened in, and different things, art. Look at this. Look how cool that is. So I liked that one a lot. This one is just like, this one's just like a writer's workbook. So it's got like exercises, different like things that you can read, literal things where you can just write. And I really liked that because I like stuff like this where you can practice writing and just continue building, because personally I think it's you never stop learning and you never stop practicing, and if you do stop practicing you get bad. My music skills can attest to that. But there we go, that's that. Those are my magazines that I have. I figured I'd go over these 3 together because I don't actually know them because I just got them today. But I got the Medieval Warrior, which is weapons, technology, and fighting techniques between 1000 and 1500 AD. And obviously that encompasses the 13th century somewhere in there, so that's perfect. I got the Middle Ages. This is supposed to be like I mean, look at how tiny this is, but this is like a quote-unquote a history of the Middle Ages from beginning to end. And if it's this tiny, perfect. I need something like this. Just literally just something to help me remember, because obviously this is a lot of information and I need something that's going to spark the stuff that I've read. So if I can like just pass through this. Now I haven't read this, so I can't speak for it, but I did get this because, you know, it was on sale on Amazon. And I also got this one, Life in a Medieval City. Now this one is like, it's pretty much just like a more serious like historical run. For also, it mentioned that someone used this for Game of Thrones, so why not? That's pretty popular. It's pretty successful. I might as well, right? I don't read Game of Thrones, but it's pretty, I think we can all attest to the successfulness of Game of Thrones. So I thought I'd pick this up and give it a whirl. So yeah. So there's my collection. The cuts were probably really odd, but you know what? Whatever, it was done on my phone with 10% left of the battery. I just remembered that I need to wrap this up. Yeah, so that's my entire collection of resource material, and I have more coming in. Like, I have an entire history of Robin Hood and the breakdown of his myth coming in, and honestly, I love this. I am having such a blast learning all of this, because this is the type of stuff that we didn't learn in school, like middle school or high school. Like, I'm learning the value of money, the value of a goat, the value of, like, did they actually pay for stuff? No, peasants actually traded for things in that time period. What kind of house did a peasant live in? They lived in a single room with their animals and their family. The more you know. But, you know, and then I have to, of course, sit here and go, well, that doesn't really fit the style of what I'm trying to tell, so I have to take liberties, which people are going to notice and judge, but whatever. The point is that I'm learning all of this stuff, and it's building the world that I'm writing in, which is an existing world, which is scary, because for a lot of people, this is their history. This is their past. So, you know, I have to try and do that as much respect as I can, while taking liberties, so that I can match a tone and a world type that people today will understand. Because believe me, if I use actual 13th century housing, it was kind of strange. Not in a, I mean, it was before people really had a sense for privacy, if you get what I mean. They all kind of slept in one room. The lords slept at like the north part of the room. This was like a Saxon household, so it was like a really big hall. This was before the solar. It was probably solar, not solar. Or maybe it was solar. You know what I mean. Oi, don't be chewing on paper. Give me that. Go away. Sam likes to chew on paper, but he's allergic to it, so don't chew on paper. Here, catch. But yeah, anyways, so that's kind of what I've been doing, and I hope you guys found that interesting. Maybe some of you will like the research material that I have shown you. A lot of these I haven't really dived into yet, and a lot of them I have also just read like 10 pages each. One of them I think I've read 50 pages, and then I moved on to the next piece because I was like, what about this? It's hard. I have so much to go through, and I cannot carry all of it with me, but I love it. I love learning, and I love research, and I love this type of stuff, so I am really happy. Anyways, I will see you guys in the next video. I gotta go put this together, and hopefully my phone doesn't die. Yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye!